Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, let's talk about something that's been making waves across the NFL landscape, especially in the context of the NFC West, but with implications that could stretch all the way into the Bay Area. It's about a move that might seem small on the surface, but carries a lot of weight when you really dig into it. And no, I'm not talking about some blockbuster trade involving a superstar quarterback or a high-profile draft pick. This is about a player's release, a veteran, someone who's been around the block, and how that could potentially open doors for the San Francisco 49ers. Just a little over a month before training camp kicks off, teams are in that critical phase where they're trimming down their rosters, trying to find the right mix, and making those final moves to get their 90-man squads ready for the grind. You see, every decision they make now can have ripple effects, not just for the upcoming season, but for the long-term stability and competitiveness of their squads. It's a high-stakes game of chess, and sometimes, a seemingly minor move can turn into a major opportunity, especially for teams like the 49ers, who are always looking to strengthen their roster in any way possible. One of the most eye-catching developments this week comes from Cleveland, where the Browns made a rather surprising decision that caught a lot of people off guard. They released Okoronkwo, a veteran pass rusher, right at the start of this critical roster trimming phase. Now, Okoronkwo isn't just some journeyman, he's a player who's carved out a decent career, especially during his time with the Browns. He was entering the final year of a 3-year deal that he signed back in 2022, and Cleveland decided that it was time to part ways. For the Browns, it's a calculated financial move as well as a strategic one. The dead cap hit for releasing Okoronkwo is just under $2 million this year, but because of the post-June 1 designation, his dead money will be spread out over 2 seasons, costing the team about $4.7 million in 2025. Now, when you look at his production, Okoronkwo had 37 solo tackles and 7 sacks over his 2 years in Cleveland. Not earth-shattering numbers, but certainly respectable for a rotational pass rusher. His earlier years with the Rams saw him develop into a solid contributor, even winning a Super Bowl LVI ring while with Los Angeles. That's no small feat. Still, his stint in Cleveland didn't quite live up to expectations, especially considering the $19 million deal he signed. It's clear the Browns see him more as a cap casualty than as a vital piece of their future. This kind of move makes you think about the broader landscape of NFL roster management. Teams often have to make tough decisions to stay flexible financially and competitively. For Okoronkwo, being released might seem like a setback, but in reality, it opens up a world of possibilities. And that's where the 49ers come into the picture. Now, some fans might immediately think, wait, are the 49ers really looking for outside help at pass rusher? It's a fair question. After all, San Francisco has a formidable front, led by none other than Nick Bosa, who just inked a massive 4-year, $160 million extension. That move alone signaled how serious the 49ers are about their defensive core, especially on the edge. But even with Bosa anchoring the line, the 49ers are always looking for ways to add depth, veteran experience, and competition. Michael Williams, Bryce Huff, and other young talents are part of that mix, but sometimes, adding a seasoned player like Okoronkwo can provide that extra punch, that veteran savvy that can be crucial during the long NFL season. And here's the interesting part. Okoronkwo is just turning 30, so he still has some prime years ahead of him. He's experienced, versatile, and knows what it takes to contribute on a winning team. The question is, would San Francisco consider making a move? Well, some NFL insiders and analysts believe there's a real possibility. They see Okoronkwo as a gift-wrapped gamble, a player who might not have hit his full potential in Cleveland but still has plenty to offer. The The 49ers, known for their shrewd roster management and ability to spot undervalued talent, could see him as a low-cost addition that provides immediate depth and perhaps even pushes some of their younger players. Now, let's be clear, this isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about adding someone who can potentially make an impact in key moments, especially during the playoffs. The 49ers' defensive line has been a cornerstone of their success in recent years, and they've built a reputation for valuing pass rushers who can disrupt quarterbacks and set the tone for their entire defense. Nick Bosa is obviously the star, but having a reliable rotational player like Okoronkwo could be a game changer, especially if he can recapture some of the form that made him a sought-after player in the league. But why now? Well, it's all about timing. The NFL offseason is a window of opportunity. Teams are still evaluating their options, and players who are released or cut can sometimes be signed quickly before other teams jump in. The 49ers have shown in the past that they aren't afraid to make quick moves, especially if it means strengthening their roster for a deep postseason run. They've always prioritized a strong defensive front, and this potential signing could be a part of that ongoing strategy. It's also worth mentioning that the NFC West is a division in flux. The Seattle Seahawks have been competitive, the Los Angeles Rams are always lurking with their star-studded roster when healthy, and the Arizona Cardinals are in a rebuild. In this landscape, every advantage counts. The 49ers already have a well-oiled machine led by Kyle Shanahan, who is one of the best defensive minds in the league, but their defense is what really sets them apart. Adding a seasoned pass rusher like Okoronkwo might just be the cherry on top, giving them even more versatility and depth to face an evolving NFC West. Now, let's talk a little about the current state of the 49ers roster. Last season, they finished with a 13-4 record, one of the top marks in the NFC. They were a few plays away from making it to the Super Bowl, and honestly, their roster was nearly perfect, but the NFL never stops. The league is always about incremental improvements, about pushing that ceiling even higher. And that's why the 49ers are constantly looking for ways to upgrade, whether through the draft, trades, or free agency. Their defense, in particular, has been a fortress, with a front seven that's arguably the best in the league. Nick Bosa's extension solidifies that, but players like Myles Garrett in Cleveland, Aaron Donald in LA, or other top pass rushers have shown how game-changing a dominant edge rusher can be. If the 49ers can add a veteran like Okoronkwo, who's familiar with the league and knows how to get after quarterbacks, it could give them that extra edge, literally and figuratively, over their division rivals. And let's not forget about the culture that the 49ers have built. They're known for their strong locker room, disciplined approach, and ability to develop talent. Bringing in a player like Okoronkwo, who's been through different teams and schemes, could add a veteran presence that elevates the entire defensive unit. Plus, with the team's emphasis on versatility, he could be used in multiple roles, whether as a pure pass rusher or even dropping into coverage if needed. Now, fans might wonder about the economics of this potential move. The 49ers are always balancing their salary cap, but they've shown a willingness to take calculated risks to improve their roster. If Okoronkwo is released for a relatively low cost, it could be a smart financial move that pays dividends on the field. The NFL season is long, grueling, and unpredictable, and having depth at key positions is often what separates champions from also-rans. Looking ahead, the upcoming season could be a defining one for the 49ers. With a talented roster, a proven coaching staff, and a strong organizational culture, they are among the favorites once again to contend for the Super Bowl. But as we've seen in recent years, small additions can sometimes make all the difference. Whether it's a late signing, a draft pick stepping up, or a strategic roster move like this potential Okoronkwo signing, it's about stacking the odds in their favor. So, what do you think, 49ers fans? Would you welcome Ogbo Okoronkwo to the team? Do you believe he can recapture his best form and become a crucial part of San Francisco's defensive puzzle? Or do you think the team should focus on developing their current young pass rushers and keep building from within? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters. This is what makes being a 49ers fan so special, being part of a passionate community that's always thinking ahead, always analyzing, and always dreaming of another Super Bowl run. And remember, I'll be back soon with even more updates, insider info, and detailed analysis on everything related to the San Francisco 49ers. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep that passion alive. We're in this together, through every off-season move, every game, and every big moment that gets us closer to the ultimate goal. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Niners!